Jai Gurudev, Michael, can you tell us about your first course with Gurudev? Sure, in the very first course that I took with Gurudev, the course ended and he stayed in Los Angeles for another day or two. We had the chance to drive him around, and one day we went to the beach. I remember him talking about how we had all been together in a previous lifetime. At the time, I didn't take it too seriously, but it intrigued me enough to visit a psychic after he left. I was confused because I had come from a background with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and Transcendental Meditation TM. I was very devoted to TM and connected to Maharishi. Initially, I didn't even understand that Gurudev was a master. We called him Panditji back then, not Gurudev or Guruji. So, what attracted you to the program initially? The primary reason I was attracted to the program was that I had met him before, and it was within the same lineage. I had never imagined having a personal guru or interacting with someone like Gurudev in the way that I have. It was all very unique and foreign to me. After my first silence course with him and learning the Sudarshan Kriya, I felt incredibly spaced out, like I was functioning from my waist up to the clouds. I tried to reach him several times but couldn't get through. In those days, we had answering machines with cassette tapes. I had a silly message with sitar music in the background, pretending to be an enlightened person with a quote from the Rig Veda. Did you eventually get to speak with him? Yes, after several attempts, he finally answered the phone. He mentioned that he heard my message but didn't want to leave one himself. I was so embarrassed. That conversation lasted for an hour and a half, which is incredibly rare. In that call, he explained many things about the master disciple relationship. That was when I understood he wasn't just an ordinary person. It became clear who he was and the role he would play in my life. Up until then, he was just a school guy with a long hair and a beard who liked me. I had never met anyone who liked me as much as he did, and that was what attracted me, not the Kriya nor the knowledge. Can you share another memorable experience from that time? Absolutely. My first course was a 4-day event, starting on Guru Purnima and ending on Sunday. After Gurudev left on Monday, I had a blind date set up by someone who knew me and well. The woman I met was incredible, beautiful, charming, with a lovely personality. During dinner, all I could think about was the course. I kept talking about accepting people as they are and not being the football of other people's opinions. She smiled at everything I said, but when I walked her to the car, I just said, "Nice meeting you, bye now," and left. She looked so disappointed, expecting at least a hug or a kiss. That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling for hours, trying to understand why I felt so in love with this man with long hair and a beard. It was a new and confusing feeling. Was this around the time as your conversation with Gurudev about a guru disciple relationship? That phone call happened maybe a couple of weeks later after the blind date. I did a silence course and then spoke to him. It was during this time that everything started to make sense. Now, looking back, I understand it all, but at that time, it was a deeply transformative and somewhat bewildering experience. Jai Gurudev.